You're listening to the Freight Hub Podcast with Luis Lopez.
How many assholes we got on this ship anyhow?
Freaking idiot.
Oh, no more Yankee, my Wanky.
That is wrong.
Would you stop flapping that thing?
It's my flap. I'll do whatever the hell I want with it.
Hey guys, and welcome to the Freight Hub Podcast. My name is Luis Lopez. It's been a while since I've been on the podcast room, and I'm coming to you today live the day before July 4th. Wanted to take the afternoon to have a quick podcast, kind of discuss my past few weeks where I have not done a podcast, kind of want to explain why, and then kind of just discuss a very important topic that I think I haven't brought up, and it's something that I want to discuss, which is adoption. And what I mean by adoption is that we've discussed on previous podcasts, and the industry, the transportation industry is big now on technology, but I want to discuss the reality. And the reality is that adoption on that technology is very difficult. Just to kind of give you a rundown, I'm running right now an asset-based trucking company that's doing local last mile in the South Florida area, doing container drayage out of Port of Miami and Port Everglades throughout the state of Florida. And then also has a division that is doing full truckload nationwide, all 48 states. And we have for the past 6 months been transitioning every division of every mode of transport into our TruckHub application. And in the past few weeks, I've realized that even though we have made massive strides forward onto our platform, that the customer experience and what the customers are willing to accept is much different from what we imagine the customers are willing to accept. And what I mean by that is that from what I see on the day-to-day operations aspect is that customers tend to want that relationship. They want to deal with the agents. They want phone calls. They want real emails. So what we've been facing is that with our application and with our operating system, our back office operating system, which is called TruckHub, that when we create orders, when the automation occurs in these orders, the customers tend not to believe those automated emails. And what I mean by the customers and just generally speaking, I'm talking about freight forwarders, brokers, and shippers that are getting that automation coming directly from the driver. They much rather deal with the dispatcher providing that update. Even though the update might still be coming from our platform, they want that experience from the dispatcher. So we've kind of had to look at holistically the operating system that we've created and that we are implementing throughout our multiple modes of transport and say, oh, you know what? We got to find a way to get the customer, which is the shipper, freight forwarder, or broker, to adopt to these automated emails and this real-time update that's happening from the driver. So that's where I've kind of gone MIA and not been around, because I've had to kind of reevaluate what our future goals are for our operating system, and B, what our customers are willing to accept, right? Because at the end of the day, no matter how great your technology is, it's still very much a service and relationship-based business. And while we want to use technology in order to provide real-time visibility and automation, there still has to be that relationship between the customer, dispatcher, and ultimately the driver. And it's taken me a couple weeks to kind of get back into operations and get in the trenches of the day-to-day operators view to kind of see, okay, where are we at now? What is reality compared to what I wish would be reality? And I think that this is kind of something that it's not only us that have this problem. I think it's the industry in general. If you're creating software, and it really doesn't matter what software you're creating, adoption is a totally different conversation from what you want that adoption to be, or what the industry is willing to allow that adoption to be. So I've had to kind of freeze the social and podcast interaction with you guys to kind of just step back and reevaluate where I am, where I want to be, and what my customers are willing to allow me to do in order to adopt the operating system that we're trying to push forward. Because without our customers and without the revenue coming from our day-to-day operations, which is fully service-based, there's no way that we can do the technology aspect of it. So our customers are a vital part of that technology aspect, because with the revenue comes the ability to adopt new business practices and create technology. And I would love to get a response from our LinkedIn and our YouTube followers on what parts of your day-to-day that are incorporated in the technology of your operation are you having issues getting adoption. And what I really am interested to see is when you're implementing your software as a service, no matter what type of business you're running, if it's a broker-based business or an asset-based carrier business, how are you able to implement that technology into your day-to-day operation? And what is the feedback that your customers are giving you with that operating system? So, because I want to get feedback from you guys and see what maybe we're doing that other people are doing differently, and then maybe we can also utilize that to our advantage in this platform on this podcast, because we're learning every day on what our customers are willing to accept. And the next question I have is, do you guys believe that the technology that you're utilizing right now, while it might not be fully adopted as of right now, where do you see that technology going the next 2-3 years? Do you see that your technology will eventually evolve into more adoption within your customer base? Or is it that this is what the industry is willing to accept now, and adoption in the next 2 to 3 years is not going to really be moved forward? So I'm interested to get your comments and get your feedback, because definitely I have felt the struggle of adoption in the past few weeks. And I want to make sure that I maybe get a pulse on the market and see what others in our social network are experiencing with adoption and their own technology. So that's the reason why I did this podcast today. And we are going to be in the future doing more podcasts with our customers, with our vendors. That's going to happen in the next couple of weeks for sure. And we're going to get back on track with that. I just want to wish everybody a happy 4th of July. And I would love for you to leave some comments below on the questions that I just asked. Have a great 4th of July.
Thank you for listening to the Freight Hub podcast with Luis Lopez. If you liked our show, please leave a comment or review. We hope you'll tune in next time.